Welcome back to our channel, movie enthusiasts. In a universe filled with adventure and cosmic chaos, the Guardians of the Galaxy are back, and they're facing their greatest challenge yet: friendship, family, and the power of unlikely heroes. Get ready for a cosmic rollercoaster that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Welcome to a quick recap of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. A galactic thrill ride you won't want to miss. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe and leave a like to our channel. Let's begin. In the opening scene, the film introduces a group of playful baby raccoons in a cage. Amid their frolic, an imposing character called the High Evolutionary approaches the cage. His focus settles on one of the raccoons, Rocket. Fast forward to the present day, the Guardians of the Galaxy, consisting of Peter Quill, Star-Lord, Rocket, Groot, Nebula, Mantis, Drax, Kraglin, and Cosmo the Space Dog, have found sanctuary on Nowhere, where they've established their base. Peter is struggling with grief over the loss of the original Gamora, seeking solace in heavy drinking. Nebula takes it upon herself to guide the inebriated Peter to his quarters. Meanwhile, Kraglin and Cosmo engage in a friendly rivalry, testing their telekinetic powers. Kraglin is determined to master the use of Yondu's arrow with his fin, though he's still working on perfecting his skills. From the depths of space, a being named Adam Warlock, created by the sovereign High Priestess Ayesha, hurtles towards Nowhere at high speed, crashing into Rocket. This unexpected event prompts the Guardians into action. In the ensuing battle, Adam momentarily severs Groot's head and aggressively targets Rocket. Peter and Mantis rush to aid the severely wounded Rocket, while Drax takes on the golden figure in combat. Just as Adam is about to strike a fatal blow to Drax, Nebula intervenes and impales Adam with one of her blades. The medical device that Peter is using to treat Rocket proves ineffective, and in fact, worsens Rocket's condition. Nebula recognizes this and instructs them to remove the device. With Adam retreating and leaving Nowhere in ruins, the scene concludes. While the Guardians escort Rocket to safety, he experiences a sudden recollection of his past under the experimentation of the High Evolutionary. During that time, he was designated as 89P13 and confined within a cage alongside 3 other animals who were subjects of testing: a mechanized armed otter, a walrus with leg wheels, and a rabbit with various mechanical augmentations. These creatures, offering companionship, managed to alleviate Rocket's feelings of isolation and fear. Upon inspection, the Guardians discover a built-in kill switch within Rocket's body that could trigger an explosion if any attempt is made to surgically intervene. It becomes evident that Adam was dispatched to retrieve Rocket, thereby prompting Nebula to uncover the existence of a passkey capable of neutralizing the kill switch. However, this key resides with Orgoscope, the very organization that subjected Rocket to experimentation. Eager to save their comrades, the Guardians, excluding Kraglin and Cosmo, swiftly set out on a mission led by Peter to confront this challenge. Meanwhile, at the Aerite lab situated on Counter-Earth, the High Evolutionary engages in a meeting with Ayesha and Adam. Both Ayesha and Adam serve under his command, with the High Evolutionary credited for engineering not only the Sovereign but also various other races and species scattered across the expanse of the galaxy. The purpose of Adam's mission was to retrieve Rocket, recognized as a prized possession by the High Evolutionary. In an instance where the High Evolutionary subjects Adam to torment due to his inability to secure Rocket, Ayesha intercedes and implores him to cease, revealing a maternal affection for Adam. Addressing his henchman Thiel, the High Evolutionary discloses his awareness of the Guardians' intended destination. The Guardians reach the Orgoscope, the site of Orgoscope's headquarters. As they ready themselves to breach the protective shield, Peter engages in a conversation with Mantis. Their talk centers on Peter's prolonged absence from Earth since his abduction by the Ravagers. Peter reveals that the only person he might recognize on Earth is his grandfather, but he's uncertain if his grandfather is still alive. Just then, Ravagers, led by Stakar Ogward, board the Guardian's ship. The new Gamora has allied with them and has secretly been in contact with Nebula. Seeing Gamora stuns Peter, even though this version of her lacks familiarity with the rest of the Guardians. Stakar provides the team with spacesuits and instructions to navigate Orgosentries as they strive to access Orgoscope's records for information about Rocket. A flashback delves into Rocket's intelligence and his proximity to the High Evolutionary. Rocket witnesses the creation of Counter-Earth, a place where the High Evolutionary sends his finished experiments. High Evolutionary demonstrates a machine to Rocket, designed to advance the evolutionary stages of certain animals. However, the experiments result in mindless and monstrous creatures that High Evolutionary discards as failures. To High Evolutionary's surprise, Rocket identifies the issue related to the proteins in the organisms being used. The Guardians descend upon the Orgoscope, Peter attempts to connect with Gamora on a personal level, only to be rejected as this version of Gamora isn't the one he knew and loved. They stash their spacesuits in a location that turns out to be incorrect, leading to their spacesuits being lost in space. The team disguises themselves as Orgo employees when Orgo sentries, led by Master Karja, confront them. Peter, Gamora, and Nebula split from the group, while Drax and Mantis form their own pair. The trio encounters an Orgo employee named Yura and coerces her into guiding them to the records section. Just as they locate Rocket's file, the Orgo sentries close in. Although their misplaced spacesuits leave them vulnerable, Drax and Mantis put up a fight against the guards. Karja wounds Drax and Nebula, weakening them. Peter convinces Yura to assist them, gaining access to the Orgo sentry systems. By disabling the artificial gravity, they shake off the pursuing guards and manage to return to their ship. In a subsequent flashback, Rocket is portrayed alongside his animal companions, collectively envisioning a life of freedom. During this moment, they each decide on their names. The otter adopts the name Lilla, the walrus goes with Teeths, and the rabbit opts for the name Floor. Rocket, drawing inspiration from a passing rocket on Counter-Earth's horizon, chooses his own name. The Guardians proceed to access Rocket's recorded file, bearing witness to the agonizing ordeals he endured under the manipulative High Evolutionary. Unfortunately, the sought-after Passkey isn't contained within the file itself. However, it becomes evident that the Passkey exists within the memory stored within a device implanted in Thiel's mind. As Peter contemplates embarking on a mission to retrieve Thiel's memories, Gamora raises objections against the plan. It's only when Nebula reminds her that Rocket remains an integral part of their family that Gamora begins to reconsider. In a separate turn of events, the Orgo sentries convene with Ayesha and Adam, apprehending a Ravager and their companion, later christened Blurp. Ayesha intends to extract information about the Guardians from the Ravager through interrogation, but Adam, utilizing his formidable powers, inadvertently incinerates the Ravager instead. This unexpected act vexes Ayesha. Shortly thereafter, Ayesha intercepts a radio transmission from Gamora to the Ravager, inadvertently divulging coordinates for their rendezvous point and unknowingly alerting Ayesha to their intended destination. In another recollection, we witness the High Evolutionary in a state of frenzied excitement, guiding Rocket to observe his latest experiments. Having incorporated Rocket's insights regarding animal proteins, the High Evolutionary has refined his techniques, pushing his creations towards greater advancement. However, he condescendingly belittles Rocket, treating him as a flawed experiment riddled with errors. He then issues the callous command to incinerate the perfected creatures. The Guardians successfully arrive at Counter-Earth, a realm dotted with suburban landscapes reminiscent of Peter's past. Populated by humanoid animal beings, their landing takes an unfortunate turn as Drax carelessly hurls a ball at a child's head. In response, the local inhabitants pelt the Guardians with refuse until Groot's imposingly colossal form frightens them off. Extending a helping hand to a bat-like woman, Peter gains her trust, leading to their admission into her abode. Meanwhile, Adam finds himself developing an unexpected fondness for Blurp. Within this sanctuary, the Guardians receive aid in their quest to locate High Evolutionary's facility, where Thiel is believed to be held captive. Graciously, the family permits Peter to use their vehicle, accompanied by Nebula and Groot. Their journey culminates as they reach their destination, where High Evolutionary's guards guide Peter into the complex. A final instance of reverie illustrates Rocket's daring act of thievery, securing a device that unlocks his and his companions' cells, facilitating their escape bid. Following a tender moment shared with Lilla, tragedy strikes as High Evolutionary ruthlessly shoots Lilla, punishing her for the escape attempt. Overwhelmed by grief, Rocket launches a frenzied assault on High Evolutionary, marring his visage through ferocious scratching and disfigurement. While Rocket manages to dispatch two of High Evolutionary's lackeys, they fatally wound Teeths and Floor as well. Left bereft and desolate, Rocket flees unaccompanied, grappling with the profound loss of his cherished friends. In the realm of Counter-Earth, the loyal underling of the High Evolutionary, War Pig, takes flight towards the Guardian's spacecraft to launch an assault on Gamora and Rocket. Meanwhile, Adam crosses paths with War Pig as she tries to apprehend Rocket. Swiftly and decisively, Adam incapacitates War Pig by severing her head. In a parallel development, Peter encounters the High Evolutionary and directly challenges his reprehensible deeds. The confrontation escalates as the High Evolutionary proclaims his intention to annihilate the planet and commence anew. The once thriving Counter-Earth plunges into devastation, entailing the tragic loss of its inhabitants. Adam's attempts to return to Ayesha are met with the heartrending sight of her demise, her ship engulfed in an explosion. Simultaneously, a tense altercation unfolds between Peter, Groot, and the adversaries under the High Evolutionary's employ. Fleeing, they make a daring escape through a window, with Groot ingeniously conjuring makeshift wings to keep them afloat. Employing an unconventional tactic, Groot subdues Thiel, extracting vital information from him. Amidst the chaos, the remaining Guardians narrowly manage to rejoin their vessel even as Counter-Earth succumbs to obliteration. Amidst the mayhem, Mantis, Drax, and Nebula inadvertently find themselves aboard the High Evolutionary's vessel, while Peter and Groot successfully return with Rocket and Gamora to their ship. Tensions escalate within the group as Nebula pins blame on Drax for their predicament, prompting Mantis to intercede in defense of Drax despite his penchant for embroiling them in troublesome situations. Frantically, Peter, Gamora, and Groot engage in a race against time to employ a crucial Passkey to rescue Rocket. Rocket finds himself in an ethereal domain, seemingly embraced by the presence of Lila, Teefs, and Floor, as if beckoned into the afterlife. However, Rocket's willingness to embrace this apparent end is interrupted by Lila's revelation of a remaining purpose in his life. A poignant kiss is shared before Rocket is drawn back to the realm of the living, reuniting with his companions in a heartfelt embrace. The group is then contacted by Nebula, who informs them of the discovery of a group of captive children subjected to the High Evolutionary's experiments. Rocket's voice over the radio heralds his survival, evoking jubilation among his allies. Tragically, the High Evolutionary seizes Nebula's group, and the Guardians are alerted to this dire turn of events. Guided by Peter's leadership, the team embarks on a mission to rescue their comrades, enlisting Kraglin's aid. Drax, adept in the children's native language, manages to placate the captive youngster, invoking laughter reminiscent of his interactions with his own daughter. Together with Mantis and Nebula, they find themselves confined with 3 formidable abelisks. Mantis harnesses her unique abilities to sway the creatures to their side, rallying them to join the impending battle. Aided by Kraglin and Cosmo, who maneuver Noher in proximity to the enemy ship, the Guardians encounter fierce resistance from the High Evolutionary's forces. A transformative vision of Yondu empowers Kraglin, imbuing his actions with heart and enabling him to pilot the Arrow effectively. Cosmo, utilizing her telekinetic prowess, thwarts an encroaching adversary. In a dramatic turn, the High Evolutionary deploys his powers to annihilate his own followers who dared to revolt against him. In the aftermath of the Guardians reuniting, they confront the formidable army of the High Evolutionary and decisively dismantle it. Adam joins their ranks. Capitalizing on her abilities, Cosmo maneuvers the ship closer to Noher, facilitating the rescue of abducted children by the Guardians, who ensure their safety. Rocket discovers a group of young raccoons and various other animals in need of liberation. His efforts are interrupted by the High Evolutionary, who attempts to end Rocket's life while belittling him as an unsuccessful experiment. Rocket, however, reminds him of his true identity, prompting a dramatic shift. At this juncture, fellow Guardians rush to Rocket's aid, subjecting the High Evolutionary to a just retribution. Gamora brutally exposes the disfiguration Rocket inflicted upon the High Evolutionary by removing his facial covering. Instead of delivering a fatal blow, Rocket chooses to leave the High Evolutionary behind as his vessel teeters on the brink of explosion. Rocket releases the captive animals, although Cosmo's powers falter before Peter can reach Noher. Peter's life hangs in the balance in the cold expanse of space until Adam intervenes, delivering him to safety on Noher. On Noher, the Guardians assemble for one final gathering. Gamora commits to remaining with the Ravagers, while Peter envisions a return to Earth. Mantis expresses her desire to embark on a solitary journey of self-discovery. Despite Drax's offer to accompany her, Mantis asserts her need for solitude. Nebula designates Drax as the guardian of the children due to his paternal nature, while she takes charge of Noher. Passing the mantle of leadership, Peter designates Rocket as the new leader of the Guardians. Upon returning to Earth, Peter joyfully reunites with his grandfather, Jason. Following their divergence, Rocket is bequeathed Peter's Zune. Playing Dog Days are over for Noher's denizens to dance to. In a mid-credits scene, Rocket and Groot take the reins of a new team, including Kraglin, Cosmo, Adam, Blurp, and a child named Phyla. They bravely face down an approaching horde of adversaries, buoyed by Rocket's rendition of Come and Get Your Love as they embark on a fresh adventure. In a post-credits scene, Peter and Jason share a breakfast conversation, delving into Jason's role as a stepfather in his second marriage. The closing statement reads, "The legendary Star-Lord will return." And that's the end of the story. I hope you liked it. Comment down below what movies do you like us to recap next. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.